Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Slice, a podcast that is focused on elevating the wealth of Africans globally. Brought to you by Kebo. My name is Jam, and I'm here with Toby David. How are you doing, Toby?
Hey Jam, how are you? Thank you all for joining us today on another episode of The Slice. Remember that it's powered by Kebo.
So today, what are we talking about today?
So today we are going to be talking about what should my first investment be. That is what our topic is on today. What should my first investment be? And so basically in today's episode we are going to be breaking down in practical steps what your first investment will be. This episode is mainly targeted for those who haven't really gotten into the investment space, or they might have gotten to it but maybe they went into it as in I follow my neighbor.
Yeah.
So they don't have any hands-on experience that myself and I wanted to invest, and so we invested. It's just that Tolani was investing and she said we should put 30k in this one, and I put with her. It's not really a hands-on thing. So now we are really going for people who want to get like hands-on experience. Like, where do you start? If you remember from our first episode, we made a promise that we'll always give practical steps.
Exactly.
We'll always give practical steps. And
So we can just kick things off by asking the most important question: why should we invest? Like, why is it even important to consider investment in the first place? Right. So Toby, do you want to jump in here?
Okay. I think this is a very basic question, but it's a very necessary question. It's kind of like what if someone is trying to start a business and they ask you, what problem are you solving?
Yeah.
Of course you say, I'm solving the problem, but it's a very fundamental question you must be able to answer. So why invest? There are a lot of reasons why it's not at the let me gather my thoughts, but because it's a lot going through my mind right now. But fundamentally, we are at a point in the economy where you must invest.
Yeah.
It's not you might or you might not. You must invest. The number one reason why, especially in these times, is because of inflation.
Yeah.
Inflation is a very, 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 very key thing when it comes to our finances today. Jam, can you break down how investment is very key in?
I mean, you're right. Like looking at what is going on now, if you're not investing, you're basically like equivalent to like putting money inside fire and burning it. Like,
okay, how can you give like a practical example? How do you
if right now, because I was checking some stats, and let's say back in 2015, a bag of rice was like 8k, right? And
2015 bag of rice was 8k.
Yes.
8,000 naira. Are you serious?
I'm serious.
8,000 naira.
I saw it in Business Day.
8000.
Yeah.
Only 8. That's Uber money.
And right now it's like 30k. So like when you think of how inflation is that bad, right? If you just kept your money doing absolutely nothing, you won't be able to meet up with expenses like that. It's just impossible to do that, right? Obviously, you have to consider that, you have to be earning more over the years. You have to consider that, you have more kind of capital coming in. But like, this is just a glimpse of what inflation can do to someone's finances.
8,000 naira.
I know it's crazy.
8,000 is Uber money. Wow.
And thinking about like the idea is not only just for inflation. The idea is that you need to have something for yourself during rainy days. There is always something that is going to happen, right? And you need to just equip yourself or create buffers for yourself for the next major project that you're going for, or for the next major plan that you want to do in your life. Most times, the existing investments that you've made early on that sort of cushions those expenses over time. So a typical example could be, I know a story of someone that bought land like back in 2018, yeah, and the person was planning on traveling or relocating to Canada, okay. And she bought the land for roughly, let's say, 8 million back then in 2018, 2019. Last year she decided that she wanted to go to Canada and she needed all the money.
All the money.
All the money she could get. Location takes a lot of money, and she just said, you know what? I have this property, I have this land, I have these things there. How do I just liquidate myself, have enough cash for the next phase of my life? You won't believe how much the property was worth in just 2 years.
How much?
30. 30. The developer sold it for roughly 30, gave her 25 million.
Wow. How much did she buy it for?
8 million. Let's say all the documentation is mapping up to 10 million.
Yeah, okay.
So
that's basically all I'm moving money now.
Yeah. She got like 20 million, 25. She got like 15 million extra on that money.
Wow.
So like thinking about like investing is like is not for the platform or for the person you're giving money to or whatever. It is literally a conscious decision that I want to think of. I want to just be prepared for what is going to happen sometime in the future, and I need a cushion effect that will enable me to like move to the next level, right? It's really difficult for people to get to that cushion level, especially in Nigeria, because you have to like literally make a conscious to move money and keep it to one side and not look at it, yes. And hopefully that money is in the right place, right? But like I think that is the major reason for people like for investing and why people should really consider it as an option. We should talk about like why people are not investing, like
why
people are scared of investing. Like what is like the major thing that would deter someone from saying, I don't think I should be investing, you know, I think I'm too young, or I think I've been duped a lot, or I think I've been going through like, I was talking to my auntie the other day, or my cousin the other day, but that was yesterday, and she was like, she's not investing anything. She has lost enough money. And do you know what she was saying? She said that I like to invest my money as part of the first people. So when it busts, I'm like, what are you investing in? Like, what are you investing in? So those things that everybody's rushing, 30%. That you don't want to be the last person at the door. You want to be when they start the program. Yes. I'm like, the idea for most Nigerians, and it's quite silly because I know people that are listening to the podcast already know what normal investments are and everything, and are actually looking out for more opportunities. But there are a lot of people out there that have no idea how to invest in the stock market, how to invest in real estate, how to invest in treasury bills, how to invest in bonds, how to save. All they know is that I earn a certain money and I spend it, and the rest is, if any opportunity comes, I'm going to put it out there. So like the inherent mindset for most people is I'm always scared. Like there is this fear that stops people from investing. And I think once we get a hold of like investing is never safe. Like people should just agree.
It's never 100%.
It's never 100% risk free. For the point of investment is you want to earn above your savings rate. Like how do you earn above your savings? Because savings has insurance in your bank account.
What do you mean by savings rate? Can you break that down?
So savings rate right now is the bank, let's say your commercial bank, whatever bank you're using.
You can give an example. Use GT.
Okay, I don't want to mention brand, but let's okay. Do you know what? Let's use GT for example. Okay. GT now, you're putting your money in GT. GT pays you a certain, hopefully they pay you a certain interest for leaving your money with them. So usually the savings rate is roughly around 1% to 2% per annum. Do you get? That is safe.
That is if you don't touch the money.
If you don't touch the money.
If you put 100, that means if you put 100,000 in January, you're going to collect 102,000.
Yeah, something by December.
So
yeah.
2K.
Yes.
2,000 naira.
Yeah, pretty much.
For 12 months.
And you know that you're not going to lose the money.
Okay.
Now there's something known as is it National Deposit Insurance
FDIC.
Scheme? Yes,
FDIC.
The commission. Is NDIC.
NDIC.
So the NDIC, they basically insure all your deposits in the bank. What that means is that if for some reason, that's Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, if for some reason the bank or they steal the money from the bank, or something happens to your money and you just lose it, and the bank cannot pay you your savings. Nigeria, they pay an insurance company deposit that you're protected up to 500k.
Okay.
And over 90% of Nigerians don't have up to 500k in their account.
This is stats. That is over
90% of Nigerians don't have up to 500k in their account.
But what about the people that are saying on Twitter that 500k
don't mind them.
Over 90% is small.
Over 90% of Nigerians don't have a 500k in their account. And this commission sort of protects everybody from that default. So let's say all the banks just default, at least 90% of the population will be fine. Because we don't have money. So like,
that's serious.
That is the savings rate, and you just say that like this is savings rate. Your money is safe. There is an insurance for it. You're good. So if you don't want to lose money, well, like in the real sense of things, if you don't want to lose money, you'll come back to your 100k.
Also, if you apply that if you want to go with only savings rate, you also have to consider inflation.
That's what people don't realize.
Because if you leave it at your 2%, your inflation has gone up. If anything, Pringles, mention the...
Some people, the loss of losing the 100k is more than the loss of inflation rate. Like, the fiscal loss of saying I cannot see my 100k again by the end of December is way worse than whatever inflation will happen over during the period of time. So there's some risk people like that I said, yes, I'm losing money to inflation. Inflation is 30% this year. I'm fine. As long as I come back to my account and I'm seeing 100k at the end of the day.
Even though that the purchasing power of that 100k has reduced.
So there are people like that are really... So if you don't want to lose money, fine, put it in savings. But the point of investment is that how do I earn above the interest rates, the normal savings rate? And if you're earning above that, there is some added risk that is involved in it. And these risks come in different levels as you go along. The same risk that you experience in investing in treasury bills or investing in real estate is not the same risk that you see investing in Bitcoin and the likes. So I think that's that fear of people literally understanding that there is an inherent risk that you should be aware of ahead of before you invest is something that is really key. I think the other thing that people try to neglect is that we don't have much purchasing power as Nigerians.
Okay, break that down.
So in Nigeria now, the purchasing power of buying something is less than whatever someone would have in the US. So in the US now, because someone is earning more and because the inflation rate is like single digits, they are able to afford certain things over there.
Is that tied to disposable income?
It's tied to disposable income.
All right.
So here in Nigeria, 50%
so the greater your disposable income, the
more
greater your purchasing power.
Exactly.
All right.
And the more you're willing to invest, because you're not like
all your money is not focused on the necessities.
Exactly.
You still have some money freed up, and that's why it's called disposable income, because it's money that you can, if you wanted, you could just throw away.
Exactly.
And you still be able to survive.
You still be able to survive. What happens in Nigeria is that more than 50% of our income is focused on food.
Food, okay.
On just eating.
and that is just basic survival. It's not that you are buying lobster and oyster and all. it's just your day-to-day rice and bread. And
the other 20 to 30% is focused on clothing, rent, and the other. So we don't really have disposable income, to be honest. And what now happens is that, like, because we have so much to lose when investing, there is also a fear of investing. And there is also a greed attached to it, because we have so much to lose that if we see an opportunity and the upside is so fantastic, we feel like, let me put in my last card and hopefully the upside will enable me to have more money back and create more disposable income.
That greed is very common, especially with we Nigerians. And that's why on another episode we'll really be talking about Ponzi schemes, how to identify them and all that. So you guys should just stay tuned.
So that whole thinking around that whole process for most Nigerians is a lot, and I feel like those are like the major reasons why people are always, will I say, skeptical about it. But I think what we are doing in this podcast is to, how will I put it, shine some light on what investment
And
takes.
to demystify it.
I mean, what Keble is even doing right now is to say you don't really have to have so much to start. Like, you can start today, right? So just allowing people because it's a gradual process of investing, just allowing people to build it on a consistent basis or build their wealth on a consistent basis is really important. So how do people start? Like, what's the first step? If someone wanted to start today, and I just finished my NYSC, I just got my first job,
and they just started paying you.
They just started paying me my alawi, and I'm collecting alawi, I'm collecting some salary from this other company. Let's say everything soft, 80 to 100k. You're still in your daddy's house. How do you sort of start the process of investing? Like, what are you going to even do first?
First thing you should do is for you to sit down. Because that's you need to sit down and make a conscious choice. Because if you are not careful, especially when the first time and the first seasons where you start earning money, your first response most of the time will be, okay, all the things I've been screenshotting, all the things I've been dreaming to get, let me just get there. And remember in our last episode, if you haven't listened to that, go back and listen. We talked about paying yourself first. You need to set aside money. And you need to, so back to what I was saying, you need to sit down. So when you sit down, you need to now note down all your necessities. Those ones you can't not spend money on them, you won't be able to survive. For example, things like transport. Unless your company is providing transport for you, which is very unlikely. So you need to set out all those necessities apart, and then the money you set aside for paying yourself first. Remember, like I said, we said it in our last episode, you need to now strategize how exactly you're going to use that money. So the first thing you need to understand is understand your risk appetite. So when it comes to risk appetite, there are 3 levels or stages. You have someone who is aggressive with risk. Those are the people that can invest in things that today they can earn 100% and tomorrow they can go flat to 0%. So we'll also be talking about different asset classes under this risk. So we have the moderate risk takers. Those ones, they can deal with not too much risk, not too high risk. And then we have the people that cannot, that's the low risk takers. Those ones cannot really stomach much. Just reiterating what Jam said before, talked about one reason why Nigerians are very skeptical about investing. When you have so much to lose. So for people that have so much to lose, most of the time they will fall under the low risk takers. Because they know that if anything happens to this money, I don't know what I will do for the next 1 month until I see money again.
Why is that those same people put their money in Ponzi schemes? I know this is for another episode, but like you have so much to lose, but you're willing to take.
One thing Nigerians are is that Nigerians are hopeful. There's just something. I don't know if you've ever heard this statement before. My own will be different.
Okay.
My own will be. Nigerians just have this. My own will be different. And the thing is that when the time now comes, you now discover that really there's a philosophy behind Ponzi schemes. All the Ponzi scheme makers, they understand this thing. They understand how Nigerian people, how their mind works. There have been Ponzi schemes where let's just touch this small, then we go back to there was a Ponzi scheme where, I won't mention the name, but people that know will be able to say that this is it. There was a Ponzi scheme that came out, told people to invest, will give you, let's say, 50 to 60% per month. Then when they were not paying people again, because it's a Ponzi scheme now, at a point the people collecting money will outweigh the people bringing in money. So they now said that payments are slow, we are stopping that one. So now we are going to do a 2.0. And now in this second version of it's just like any platform doing it 2.0. This second version of our investment in quotes platform is new people that will be coming in. And if you want your money to be paid from the other one, you need to bring the exact money you paid before, so that we give you double of that past. And people brought money. People paid double. Imagine someone scammed you and I said to collect the money you paid before. that I scammed you
Yeah.
to collect that money, and then I will double the two money together so that you are receiving times 4. Bring another money, and people were bringing money. It was all in the sense that, oh, my own will be different. That's just the that's just the touch process. In a normal sane country, people will be like, it's not making sense. I know, but we just have a lot of hope as Nigerians, and all these, I call them the Ponzi playmakers. They understand this, and that's why you can see like one person that has had one Ponzi scheme go on to do another one, stop that one, go on to do another one. They understand how Nigerian people, their mind thinks. And plus, we're also a very religious people, so we believe in hope. My own go better. So that's so. Back to the topic. So we are going to discuss fully. That one is going to be a full episode. So back to the topic. So another thing was consider, apart from your risk appetite, is your time frame. All investment classes work differently. For example, if you are investing in the crypto asset class and you had a short-term time frame, anything could have happened. There was a coin that went to zero. Was it Luna? Luna went to 0% overnight. I know personally of someone who invested. He invested for someone. He invested about $20,000, and everything went to zero. He had to be borrowing money from anywhere to pay that person back. So it's just understand, because different asset classes have the way they work. So you must have a time frame, because that's all this is just part of the plan. So you understand your risk appetite, you know your time frame. Another thing you also consider is diversification. Can you break that down? What does it mean to diversify?
So diversification is a way in which you're spreading your risk across different investment options, right?
Can you break it down?
So let's say you have 100K today, and you're thinking of diversifying. You would say, okay, I would invest 50,000 naira into something stable, right? So I'll say I'll invest it into treasury bills. I invest 30K into real estate. I invest the other 20K into stocks. The point is that whichever one sort of blows up, or whichever one sort of draws down, you're sort of protected from the risk of that. But I'm not a big fan of diversification, especially early on.
Okay.
Because it's
Why
only
is that?
big. If you have money, you have the luxury of diversification.
Okay, I put money here.
Put money there. So I feel like a lot of us, especially for first-time investors, they should actually do their homework. They should actually do their homework to say, okay, I'm putting money here and here. Not I'm putting money here. Because what means is that if one property, I'm in real estate, I keep mentioning property. If one asset, let's say you invested 30K into the stock market, and that one doubles in price or something, you'll now be wishing that I wish I did.
I wish I put all my extra money there.
Or if one asset just you put 30K, and all of a sudden the next day is like 15K. And say, why did I put this money? So I always tell people that the level of research you have to make is really important for you to now decide on what exactly should I put my money to, and is always embedded in knowing what is my risk profile as a person. So if you're a very aggressive person, that you can take it, maybe you have the money to and you have the mind to.
Those are very
very important
key things, because there are some people that will lose money and their mind is not okay. They need to take them to a mental hospital that just hold him down because he'll just be sweating and all that. Some people can't take it.
So if your mind is like, let's just use an aggressive person for example, and just pick the person up. If the person is aggressive, the person has the money and has the capacity to handle losses, right? The person might say, okay, which are the several investment class out there? So there is the crypto, there is stock market, there is real estate, and there are treasury bills. The person will never consider treasury bills or savings as an option. The person will probably focus on real estate, stocks, Bitcoin. And the person will say, okay, you know what? The Bitcoin market is going down. I've done enough of my research and I feel like this is going to bounce back up, right? I'm putting 50% of my money into Bitcoin. That is fantastic for the person. If the person loses money, it's fine.
It's fine.
Okay. For the person to now hedge his investment in Bitcoin or
What
the
does
losses,
it mean to hedge?
to protect yourself against losses.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're losing 30% in one and you're gaining 50% in the other one, you're basically overall your portfolio is making 20%.
That's 50 minus 30.
Yes, 50 minus 30.
Okay.
So you're sort of hedging the loss
Yes.
of the 30% this thing. So what that happens is that the person will say, okay, I put 50% in Bitcoin because I trust that, oh, it should bounce back, whatever happens. I put maybe 30,000 naira into the stock market and I put maybe another 20,000 naira into the real estate market. So at some point, whatever is happening in the investment space, you're sort of protected from the risk that you're going to face overall. So that diversifying is basically saying, how do I spread my risk across? But I always say that, listen, try and see how you can do enough research. Try and focus on just two asset classes, and see how you can learn across, over time as you expand and build more money and build more wealth for yourself. Because if you're spreading your money across so many things, you're basically not going to make so much because you're like spread thin. So imagine if you have 100k and you spread like 10k across.
You'll be making maybe 1k here,
1k here
minus 500 here.
Exactly. So it's not going to have enough impact in your portfolio. So I just advise people, like, try and don't put all your eggs in one basket and don't put all your eggs in all the baskets.
In all the baskets.
So yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. So those are the three main things you should consider in your plan: your risk appetite, diversification, and your time frame. Those three are very key. And just like Jan was saying, you need to do your personal homework. It's something that you can't just copy anybody's trading style or investment strategy, because someone's investment strategy can also work for you.
Yeah.
But you need to understand yourself as a person. There are people that have taken. If some people to sit you down and tell you how much money they have lost, you will never be able to understand how someone can lose millions and still sleep in peace.
Yeah.
So everyone is different. You just need to understand how you function. So another thing you should also consider in getting your first investment is the role of inflation, because you need to, just like Jan was talking about hedging, where he was talking about creating a buffer against losses. You need to invest in something so worthwhile that it will still hedge against inflation, because it makes no sense for you to say you are investing and your investment is not, at least if it's not beating inflation, getting tied with it. If that isn't the case, just put your money in the bank where it's much more safer. So what do you think about that?
I think, again, investing in an inflationary environment is the worst thing for any investor, because like almost every single thing is probably going to be affected. You get, as prices go up and wages contract. So let's say the inflation rate is going by 10% and your salary is not even increasing, it's still in that same level. You're basically going to face a tougher and tougher time in putting aside money. You get, and it's going to tell on almost every other asset class that you're investing in. Let me pick one example. Your MacBooks or laptops, right? If people are, if it's obviously going to tell on the prices of all of these gadgets buying a laptop. The issue now is that if your wage or your salary is not increasing proportionally, you will not be able to buy the next Mac.
Yes.
Yes. Most people will not. Some people can afford it, but most people will not be able to afford it.
Those are the ones that their money has either been, their wages have either been very high or have increased over time.
And what that happens is that it affects the bottom line of Apple as a company.
Yes.
So now, if you are an investor in an Apple stock, the time that they are releasing their annual report and they are telling everybody, revenue forecast is going to be down because of the inflation rate, because it's affecting people buying our products, the stock will tank. So if you're an investor in that stock, you're like, Why is my portfolio looking red? You see, like the ripple effect of just the inflation that is happening is a lot of work. So I just advise people that, I mean, the best thing you can do in an inflationary environment is to look out for certain investments that are sort of inherently hedging against inflation. So there are certain investments or certain businesses that will help. First is real estate. So real estate sort of hedges against inflationary pressures, because as prices of goods and services goes up, prices of rental properties also go up, prices of building materials also, and those prices are passed on to the final buyer.
Yes.
So you're just hedged against all of those unforeseen circumstances. Cash flow generating businesses are really good because they are constantly generating cash flow for you. So like thinking around, even in your investment, how do I navigate the inflationary space? You need to think of what asset classes would I invest in that will protect me for this, for this period, and hopefully provide like enough return to offset any inflationary increase that will happen over time. So yeah.
All right. So for the different asset classes, that is for a low risk, that's conservative, someone that's a medium risk or moderate risk, and someone that's an aggressive investor, what asset classes do you think fall under each of them for the three that someone can get? So now we are going to the practical. You find out or you understand what risk appetite you have. So what asset classes can you invest today, now on the 20 on the 27th
of June.
So,
what asset class can you invest in?
So for a conservative investor,
if you're a conservative investor,
what percentage are you looking at?
Your primary focus is essentially how do I maintain the value of my money without risking a lot. When you think of, so what you're looking out for is how do I invest in bonds, treasury bills, commercial papers of companies that are really reputable. So a particular conservative investor is saying, yes, I might not make above inflationary rates, but I'm making enough above the savings rates and my money is safe. That's why when Nigeria releases a bond like this, it's always oversubscribed. Do you know who's buying them? Pension companies. They are managing billions and billions of naira, and the main aim for that money is not to disappear. That money should be alive.
Because if that money disappears,
a lot of lives will just be washed away. So the pension manager is really focused on, I should be earning above the savings rates, to a reasonable extent. I might not be able to take crazy risk, but I should be earning enough on a consistent basis to sort of make sure that my money is safe. So that a conservative investor is really focused on, he is aware or conscious of the fact that there are inflationary pressures, and he's always looking out for how do I maintain an above savings rates, but it might never be above the inflation rates most times. Just to make sure that my money
savings rate is the lowest of the low. It doesn't get lower than.
Exactly. So that person is looking out for. Then a conservative investor might be looking out for more of cash flow. So the person might be focused on, I want something that maybe I don't want to earn 100% in 12 months, but I want to be earning every month. I'm sort of guaranteed a certain amount of money paid back to me. So those people are more inclined to opening businesses, cash flow generating business.
These are
conservative, yeah. Okay. They're more inclined to invest in those kind of things. Some of them are more inclined to invest in certain real estate properties that are generating cash flow. So they are focused on, it's not really about even the asset class, like what their risk capital is focused on, how do I maintain my money to get to the barest minimum without taking so much risk. That's where their mind is.
Then for conservative investors.
That's for conservative. So for the moderates.
For moderate.
For moderates. Yes. So the moderate person does a lot of research. He's open to possibilities. So you can say, I'm earning 20% monthly. He'll be like, okay, let me see how it looks like. Conservative investor will be like, nah, I don't want that.
He's
like,
open
to risk. He's open to parting away with money. He's aware of the inflationary pressures. The person is aware of the devaluation pressures. The person is aware of the economic situation in the country, and the person is saying, how do I make the best decision to stay afloat? Do you get? Making sure that I'm putting my money where it is well protected, right? So these kind of people are the people that will come and check on Cable and be like, who are the founders of Cable? How many projects has Cable done? They want to know, okay, they'll check on the Instagram page, they'll look at it, check if we're in any TechCrunch news or something like that. Say, okay, before I put my, I need to know that person. Before I put my money, there's this stockbroking platform, I had to search. I even had to message the founder and say, hello sir, how are you? I have your number.
Is this a Nigerian company?
Yeah, it's a Nigerian company. They allow you to buy stocks in the market. I had to message the person and say, CEO, I'm putting my money now. How much am I putting? No much. But like, that's kind of person. I did all the possible things in the whole book, that just to make sure that if I'm putting my money in the stock market, I'm making sure that it's in the right place or it's in the right platform. Okay. So moderate investors are really research-driven kind of people. They just want to know exactly where their money is going to. Some of them are they don't mind taking risk, but to a moderate level, to lack of better words.
So what asset class?
They are pretty much focused on conservative, basic investment class, like the stock markets. So they're open to that risk, and they're open to investing in like reputable companies. So they always start off with, okay, which companies are doing really well? There is Google. Nobody will run away from Google anytime soon. There is Facebook. There is Apple. So they are looking out for those companies that over time they've sort of brought value to the world, and their stock price have gone up over time. So they're open to that. They're also focused on, let me not put all my eggs in that basket. So what are the fixed options available to hedge against my investments in the stock market? So they will say, okay, maybe I can put into real estate. Real estate seems like an option for me to sort of invest in. Or I can put some little money into the bond market in case anything happens there. So they're really like sort of balanced in a way to make sure that their money goes well.
Even if they put their money in things with considerable risk, they also hedge it with less
exactly
risk.
Awesome. Aggressive guys. So aggressive guys are really, really crazy people. Like,
why do you call them crazy people?
So in their minds, a good aggressive investor understands the risk that he's taking. So there are different facets of it, but a good aggressive investor knows that there is a possibility that I'm going to lose 100% of my money. Like, I'm aware that if I have 100k today and I'm putting 80k into this, I am aware of the risk of losing that money. Like, so that kind of person is someone that will say, you know what, Bitcoin is at a discount right now. I'm using Bitcoin as it's $21,000 now. They've lost more than 30% of its value in the last 60 days. So what the person can say is, you know what, it's so cheap right now to buy Bitcoin. I think we should pump in my whole 100k should just be in Bitcoin. There's some people that sold their house to buy Bitcoin.
Like you're talking about in the boom?
In the boom. Wow. To buy Bitcoin.
So now they'll be buying what? Boats. Kilo.
Like, some people like took out loan to buy Bitcoin.
At that time.
That's an aggressive behavior. A modern person would not be like, I don't have the money, I don't have stress. But that aggressive behavior, or even taking loans to invest in a very volatile market, those are aggressive behaviors.
What do you mean by volatile? Break it down.
Volatile means that it can go up and down. Without
just like Luna.
So you open your laptop before you sleep, you check the price. It's $2,000. You wake up by 6 a.m. and it's now $150. And like, what happened? So like, you most asset classes, maybe real estate is not like that, treasury bills is not like that, your savings is not like that, bonds are not like that. The stock market is pretty much like that. Like, there are some stocks you can buy into, and it's $100 today, tomorrow it's $250. Great stuff. I always tell people that the same way it's going up, the same way it can go down. So just be aware of this kind of risk when invest.
So the stock market, we also say the crypto market.
Yeah, crypto market, definitely. Very volatile markets. So the aggressive investor is really focused on how do I maximize the best of my resources to make the highest ROI. That's what like really where his brain is focused on.
How do I what?
Maximize my resources to make sure that I get the highest ROI. You get. So like he's really like all in with the risk. Yeah. So I think that sort of covers the aggressive investor. What other things should we look at?
So how much should you invest for your first investment? Well, it all depends on you. It all depends on you.
I think you just said, how much are you willing to lose?
How much are you willing to lose? That's true.
So if you're willing to lose 5k, just start 5k.
Start with 5k.
I think everybody, well, not everybody should, but like most people should be willing to lose 5k if you're starting that journey. So when you're thinking about investing, I always say that how much are you willing to lose today? Like if you're thinking of, oh, I want to invest 100k and you're not willing to lose that 100k, don't start. Put it, like, save it somewhere in a high interest savings account, somewhere in one savings platform or whatever. But investing is always like a conscious decision of how much am I willing to lose? Am I willing to lose this? Great, right? Over time, you become more confident in investing, right? And you become more, if that asset class is something that is reaping rewards for you, you would always be fine with investing in it because you know that, okay, this investment class is really good for me. So yeah, I mean, how much you should invest in is how much you should be willing to lose.
So that's the key. That's the quote of the episode. How much you should invest is how much you are willing to lose. Also, just in relation to what you were saying, investing in the long run, the goal for it, apart from making money and all that, the goal for investment is for you to make it a habit.
Yeah.
Investment has to be a habit. Now, why am I saying this? For most of my brothers and sisters out there, we are all looking forward to a day where we can ball. In the sense of not ball as in, oh, you carry champagne and pour on your wrist and take a video of it. No, it's just, okay, you want a nice house, you can get that house. You want a nice car, comfort, just basic life comfort. All those things require money and it requires you to build wealth. And if not for you, at least for your children or for the children you plan on bringing to the world later in your life, if you are not at that stage yet. And the only way you can really do that is to make your money work for you. To make your money work for you. And that's why investment is a very, 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 very critical habit. Because the thing about habits is that you have to start from somewhere, then it builds up. So 1 month is 5k. The second month you do 5k again. You notice that when you release the 5k for investing, remember that you're not seeing the money. The money has left your account, it has gone to some broker or something. It becomes easier, the process, and now you can now begin to release 10k, and then by the time you start seeing the returns on your money, it becomes way easier for you now, until it now becomes a lifestyle. Most rich people, I don't want to say all, because there are some people that they get money handed to them, but among the billionaire list, there's no billionaire or anything that did not invest. And just John was talking about conservative investors, and he mentioned that they invest in cash generating businesses, so they start their own business. So starting your own business is also a form of investment. So there's no significantly rich person in the world today who did not invest, who did not, from people that started Google, people that started Amazon, mention the company, most of the billionaires, most of the millionaires, most of them, they had to invest. And even people who earn very high salaries, they also invest. People that earn 10 million a month, $20 million a year, all that, they also invest. Because your money, the goal is that one day you can sleep on your bed and your money is working for you. And you know that, okay, I don't need to move an inch and there's still a lot on my, and I can still afford the things of life without working. That is to a certain extent. Thank you. That's financial freedom. So that's just what I wanted to add to that.
I mean, so I think in this episode we covered like really, really important things for someone that is really starting out to think about investing. You've not started before, you don't know what asset class to pick. It's really important that you start really early, and you start to know about your risk appetite so that you make the best decisions for you. And I think that's why the slice is really here, to provide these opportunities and provide this information for you guys. You can subscribe for the slice on the several platforms, and in our description you can join our group. We have a community that is focused on enlightening people and teaching people about how money works and how they can leverage on it to build wealth for themselves and hopefully get the financial freedom that everyone is so looking for. So in conclusion, thank you so much, Toby. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us today.
See you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.